Hey there, Wargamers, Justin and Patreon. Today, we're going to get our hobby on. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. Appreciate you being here. I hope that you all had a great holiday. I hope that you had a good new year. I hope you're starting things off well. But today, we're going to paint some minis. Talk, ramble, and just kind of catch up a little bit. I haven't done a hobby hangout style video in a little while. Got busy with the holidays, things happen. Had plans to do a lot more filming over Christmas or December. Didn't happen. I was not able to get John out here. But it sounds like we might have been able to tag in Eric Berg, Suge, if you see him comment on any videos, and Michael. I think his name is Psycho something or other on YouTube. So some opportunities to get some more people in front of the camera and some more games being played. That said, today we're going to be working on the Mad Cat for Eric for his Patreon reward, and I figured I would record some of that while we're hanging out. And like I said, it's been a little while since we did one of these, so I'll probably ramble a little bit. I got some music jams going, and I kind of want to sit here and relax, paint a little bit on this mini, and talk with you guys. So first and foremost, I hope that your holiday seasons were well. I hope that you've made New Year's resolutions, if any, that are practical to you. Hopefully no peer pressure. Don't do things that, or commit to things that are going to feel toxic for you or not a net benefit. Make plans, make decisions that are healthy, goals that are practical. I think goals that are challenging make sense, but don't make goals for goals' sake if it's not something you want to do. Especially in regards to the hobby. Other things in life can vary, but when it comes to the hobby, this is supposed to be something that brings you peace, brings you some stress relief, and if the goals you make are something that stress you out, you gotta take a step back and consider what those goals were for. Like, why did you make the decisions that you made? Because this should be, when everything else in life stresses you out, your work life, your family life, the other dramas and things going on, and stress, this is the one place where you get to retreat and be alone, or maybe with others, but be in a universe outside of our norm, whether that's a state of mind or literally exploring the universe through your painting or your art or through what you're reading. This is a place to escape, a little bit of escapism, and this should not be something that generates stress for you. So if it is, I'm going to take a step back and kind of assess what we're doing and what the net positive benefits of that activity are. And in today's case, I have been stressing a little bit over painting, and I'm trying not to, but I feel like I'm getting behind, not getting enough stuff done that I want to as quickly as I want to, but unfortunately that is life, so I force myself to sit down a little bit and work on something. I want to finish my my little wizard bust. I just haven't had the juice in the tank to get me going. Feels like I'm running on empty, especially looking at that piece. He's kind of in this like state of incomplete, which is obvious because I just talked about trying to get the motivation to work on him. But like, I need to do his eyes. I need to do the little owl and all the various details, and then I gotta get over here and I gotta start on the next like big deal, which is this. Like, I need to do his staff, I need to do his bandages and his scrolls and these potion things, and it's just feeling a little overwhelming, and I haven't had the mojo, the drive to work on them. I've also got this little book here to work on too, but I just haven't had that mojo, so it's been hard to claw myself back and get motivated again. So this is something that I can do and have some obligation to do, but because those of you who are supporting me here, patrons in particular in this particular example, understand the message I put out and my like pro mental health stuff. If I was to be a little slower on this, I think Eric would understand. But I also need to hold myself accountable to a goal or expectation that I made. So, much like when I was discussing at the beginning of this, making your New Year's resolutions things that don't stress you out, if this is stressing me out, I need to reassess my process on Patreon, the commitments I make to people, and make sure that those are things that I am comfortable committing to. And if not, it's a me problem, and I need to assess what I can do to make that more comfortable for me. Don't offer pledge tiers if you don't want to commit to them. So in this case, I'm working on finishing this little guy. For Eric, I opened up that pledge tier to offer a secondary patron if someone wants to pay for painted art. It is there should they want it, because while it is stressing me out, once I get going, the stress it does bleed away, because I'm doing art for someone knowing that in this case, he's not stressing me out. He just wants a cool piece that I've painted, so he has it for his collection. And then I know that I can paint something. He didn't even give me a prompt. He just let me pick things, which normally stresses me out. But in this case, I'm painting it to the way I want, knowing that the only expectation from him is that he receives a cool painted mini. So the stress is all me-based, not him-based, and once I get going, I feel a lot better. The wizard, on the other hand, is different, so I can't... My interest in that comes and goes, and that's unfortunate. But that is also why I put up the video a while back talking about it being okay to give yourself a break. It's being okay to step away from a project if you want. And for that wizard, I'll get to him when I get to him, as Gandalf would say. A wizard is never early or late. He arrives precisely when he means to. I probably butchered that quote, but I think you guys get the point. Much like with art, we'll get to it precisely at the moment in life that it feels right to do so. This isn't a job. I mean, the Patreon is a little bit of a job. I'm trying to get it there, but it's not meant to be a stressful job. This is meant to be a way to broadcast into the ether, into the internet, a message that I think is worth broadcasting. And because it's tethered with Battletech, it's helping promote an IP that I am very interested in. And there's some secondary and tertiary benefits to what it is that I do. I suppose one of my ultimate goals, beyond just helping broadcast that light out to grow Battletech, but is to also hopefully connect with others. Like, I'm not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, I don't claim to be, but I do think that the things that sometimes help me getting on here and broadcasting a message, seeing someone leave a comment where they're like, hey, like, it's nice to know that somebody thinks similar to me, or somebody's broadcasting this message that helps me, like, that keeps me going, because I feel like, sometimes I get a message or a comment where someone's like, yo, you got me into the hobby. That's good. But also the comments where someone's like, this really helped me. I needed to hear someone say this thing you just said. Thank you. Like, I'm not fishing for praise here. It's more knowing that even that one person heard what I said and they knew they weren't alone in the universe, right? I think that is really cool. I think we are in an era in life and technology where we are all super connected but still so separated, so distant, so apart, that it's kind of, I don't know if ironic's the right word, but it's maybe ironic that we're so connected but so distant. And I think that being able to break through that and someone feel a little bit of human vulnerability, perhaps, human connection, is just, it's really nice. And it's something I feel like we've kind of lost. We've gotten more connected but more far apart. And my goal through the hobby is to basically bring humanity, bring us, what we are, our personalities, our interest to the forefront, our happiness to the forefront. And I think that's really cool. So that helps me get by a little bit of my stress when it comes to the channel. Once I get going, it kind of bleeds away, knowing that what I'm doing feels like it's something greater than myself. And this is a tiny little channel. We're officially over 4K subs, which is great. It's super surreal to me that we've had the growth we had last year. I hope that we're at like 6K at the end of the year, end of 2024. That'd be an awesome goal. And obviously I've been open with my goals about wanting to get to a point where 10%, or not 10%, 25% of my work time is YouTube. I would love for that. To be doing videos, battle reports, tutorials are very slow, but those types of things, all the content, that would be great. Knowing that I could hopefully get to a point where perhaps 10 hours of my work week are things dedicated to something I really, really want to do, and the other 30 are DRD, which I do like to do, but something that isn't just, pack a product, put it in box type thing is great. Now, hopefully, as the year progresses and DRD grows, we're hopefully get to a point where I can get back to doing design work, but we've been so busy at work that it's been... Not only have I not been able to sit down and get more design time in for my buildings, Austin himself hasn't had a lot of design time to work on Steel Rift terrain or minis or anything. We've been so slammed. So being able to get back to doing that would be great. But right now at work, we're kind of bogged down in the mundane, packing boxes, fulfilling orders, which is good, but not getting those creative juices flowing either, which is why I would love for the YouTube to continue to grow and facilitate my interest in connecting with people and being creative. And I know this is it may be for most that they would consider a pipe dream, and I agree. But I'm here, and I think it's good to be open and talk about what it is I want to do, vocalize it so you guys kind of know, and we'll see where things go. And I know I keep saying that, broken record, but it's one of those, like, I keep saying it because I want to believe it. I want to make sure I'm striving for my goal, you know? So, I'd like to see, going into Nova 2024, some growth on people signing up for the tournament. So if you're interested in playing and you've been on the fence, please come out. We're hoping to have 50 or 60 slots this year. That would be fantastic. But we can't do that if people don't sign up. So, and I say that, I don't make any money off it. We get a little bit of a kickback at DRD for running events for Nova because we're a vendor there. So we're a vendor. We run events, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in 2024, I will hopefully be also able to run a speed paint class for mecha stuff, so Steel Rift and Battletech. That will hopefully be something I get to do. I was supposed to do it last year, and we didn't get to, so we'll see how that goes. So lots of plans, things I want to do, and continue with the dive into the community. And I'm kind of glad I went back and started doing these highlights because I feel like they were just a little bit subdued, and I think this gray is going to be nice. We'll see. I thought about doing like little scratch marks with it, but I opted not to. But I think that the more crisp extra highlight step here is going to just help make it pop a little bit. You can kind of see it a little bit already on the top of this rocket pod here. That highlight right there with those squares was just a little bit brighter than everything else, and that's kind of what I was trying to match. And you'll see me putting a lot of paint on my thumb here. It's because I'm mixing in a kind of a glaze product. I use this Josanja. Use that a lot, or it might be Josanja or Josanja. I'm not sure. My gut instinct is it's Spanish in nature, but I don't actually know. I wonder if it says on the bottle where this is from. It's from Australia, so perhaps it is not Spanish. It also makes sense they have this here. I'm assuming this is Japanese, considering they're so close to Japan. I assume that's why. I don't know if that's actually true, if that's actually Japanese, but that's my guess. But I mix a little bit of that with water, and it's a really nice thing I use to, like, kind of, I don't know, it's not necessarily thin, but I mix it with my paint, so sort of thinning, I guess. But I like it because I feel like I get a better, like, with an edge highlight, I feel like it just tapers better. There's a slight fade to it sometimes. It's a nice little mixing stuff. You can also use it for glazing, and I've used it for that. I use it for kind of filters, so it's pretty versatile. So if you haven't given it a shot, it's worth it. If you've been using Lamy and Medium, this can just about replace that, and by volume is way cheaper. And I wish I knew or remembered what artist I saw that used this. There's some minis artist I saw years ago that was using this, and I bought it on a whim on Amazon to give it a shot and fell in love with it. That said, the new mix, which is the bottle I just showed, performs a little differently, or the consistency feels a little differently than the old one. I can't quite peg it. My old bottle is just about empty, and it's not in the room right now, but I did notice that. But for you guys that are new, you may not notice or have never used it, may not notice the difference because you probably haven't used the old stuff before. So I'm not entirely sure why it's different or what has happened, or maybe my old bottle was just, it itself might have been an outlier. Maybe it was just a different mix or something was odd with it. I don't know, but I'm just used to its consistency a bit more than this one, but still kind of getting the same results, so we're okay. We're okay. As we paint here, let me take a little sip of my drink. Get a little caffeine going. As we sit here and we paint, I always do like to ask you guys, not only how are you doing, which I think is great to ask, and know not only how your holidays went, because we're into the new year now, and all the holiday festivities in December passed, and the New Year's here, but what hobby things are you working on? What games are you playing? And what are you getting into that might be relevant to the channel or things you want to talk about. I think it's self-serving, obviously. You want people talking in the comments. You want engagement, but I do try and read those, respond to those, or at least like them when I see them if there's nothing I really need to say. But more importantly, I think it's not just connecting with me, it's you guys connecting with others who are also connecting with me and connecting with you and getting those conversations going. So YouTube may flag links sometimes, and I try and catch that and approve the comments early because they're trying to filter out spam. Sometimes I miss them, and it's a month before I see that a comment was missed because I have to go in the back end and find it. But it's set up to allow stuff, so I don't know what's going on. But if you want to leave your Reddit handle or your Instagram handle or both when you post stuff, especially if you're working on hobby things, like let's get you some exposure. If I'm not following you on the Instagram, I don't really use Reddit much. I occasionally do, but I'm not on there very often. But I am on Reddit daily, so being able to see your Reddit accounts is good. You can post it up there, and if you happen to post on Reddit specifically, not Reddit, sorry, Instagram specifically, which is what I meant to say there, I had a little slip, tag me. If you're following me, if you're not, you can tag me. If you don't want to follow me, still tag me. I like to check your stuff out. I try and follow the BT artists, or maybe you've seen or listened to me ramble about having kind of a palette cleanser that is painting a bust, and maybe you've started working on a bust and you normally don't, and you want to share. Like, that would be cool too. So posting that in the comments and tagging me on the Instagram would be ideal, so we can see as a community what other community members are working on. I think that would be a good thing. And then maybe, just maybe, someone here will post a bust they're working on, and just maybe that'll get my creative juices flowing, so I want to work on my wizard again, because I don't know what it is. Definitely not Gandalf over there. It's just, he's stressing me out. I look at him, and I had the muse for a little bit. I was painting on him every day, and then just at some point got busy with life and just kind of lost track, and boy, is he judge me when I look at him. I feel like he's just like, well, here you are again, painting on those stupid stompy robots, but not a wizard who could do crazy magical things with his fingers. Why aren't you painting me? That's where my brain goes. I'm not schizophrenic or anything like that. But I do kind of in my head bring my art to life. I think about things. Probably not as much as I should. I used to do that a lot with 40K. I probably should do that more with Battletech, but I think there's a little lack of they're a little less little impersonal. The Battletech is because they're not humanoids. So like with 40K, I'm looking at human or living kind of beings. Obviously, there's a pilot in here, but I'm not seeing his face or her face. Whereas in like 40K or other minis games, Star Wars Legion or the bust, like I'm actually seeing a creature, a thing that is alive. So like in my head, the kind of internal dialogue there, the story that I get is a little different. Whereas with the mechs, it's not quite the same. I do like to envision stuff, but I don't get that, like, you don't get that personal touch. It's just, mech battles and mech damage. You don't get the organic kind of side that other games have. So I don't think much. That said, I did see not long ago that CGL was looking for artists or authors, which I guess is an artist of their form, to write some short stories for Shrapnel, and I was really hoping somebody was going to pick up the Cheetah's story with my canon character in it, because Blaine's no longer writing for Battletech, and he was the guy who was writing the short story that I was in, the one that made it to Shrapnel, but it sounded like there was going to be some follow-ups, and nothing ever happened. So I'm hopeful I'll show up in a source book somewhere, because the artwork for my pledge from the first Kickstarter has not occurred yet. So hoping I'll show up somewhere. And because I chose Dark Age era stuff and a mercenary, and then the new Kickstarter is mercenary and they're pushing the timelines for it, I was really hoping. Still fingers crossed, because the mercenary stuff hasn't fulfilled yet, so I'm really hoping that my character's artwork will show up in a book or on a card or something. That would be super neat. Especially because I'm piloting the Devil and Stone's Atlas. Spoiler alert. That's the mech that my pilot, or my mech warrior currently has, is the Phantom. And if you go on Sarna and you type in my name, I show up. I'm on Sarna, which is pretty neat to me that I'm on the official canon wiki. And then there's obviously bibliography there, so you can see the sources where my character comes up. So if you're interested in seeing the tiny, tiny, tiny little spark of life that was breathed into my character in the Battletech universe, it's got the information on where to find me at. Hour of the Wolf, it's very brief, but the One Door Closes in Shrapnel issue 6, that's the big one, because that story is following me in 2 of the other pilots that were from Hour of the Wolf. And that's where we show up, and it's pretty cool. But I'm obviously a little biased, because, my character. My canon character. Yep. And as we progress here in our painting today, what did you guys get for the holidays? Did anyone get any cool mini swag? Any hobby swag, gear, kits? What did you get? How was your holiday? And what are you planning to paint if you got things for your holiday stuff? I think that would be pretty cool. I got a really neat glass, which is not in here right now. I got a whiskey tumbler from my girlfriend that says The Armed Painter on it and has a little D20 in the side of it, which is super duper neat and thoughtful. And she knows I like to crack open a bottle of whiskey, have a little relaxing sip while I paint, and she got me that glass, and that was super neat. No whiskey activities going on today, though, because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon as of filming this, and it's just a little too early to be day drinking. So, but yeah, that was a really neat glass. I need to bring it in here, put it on my shelf. Of course, I guess if I'm going to use it, it being on my shelf in my bedroom is not the most ideal place for it, is it? Which would explain why it's not here for me to grab right now and put into this video, because it's not here. And I'm noticing I hit that spot there, so there's a little stray gray, so I'm going to try and come in a little bit black and at least try and tidy that up. It's going to be not the easiest thing, unfortunately. We're going to try and strategically cover that with a little bit of black contrast paint. It's kind of on the underside, so I'm kind of hoping we can get away with that and it kind of look like a shadow, which I think we might be okay. Alright. I'm liking how this is turning out. This is being painted to look like one of the Feria Phasma mercenary minis from my headcanon, my personal merc company that I conceptually came up with. I've got a whole bunch of minis to paint for that too, but I just have not had time. I've got all these projects I want to do. I've got this box of minis. I think I showed these. I did do a video on these. I got this box of minis I want to paint for the cheetahs, and I just haven't had time. Actually, I say I haven't had time. I haven't got confirmation from CSO that my cheetahs concept was approved, so I'm not going to paint those minis until I know, because I don't want to essentially waste time. I may still waste time because I still like the concept for what I painted, but I'm kind of cautiously waiting before I make decisions. So there's that. I've got the Republic of the Sphere I need to finish at some point. I've got more Wolf's Dragoons I want to do, and then I bought minis because I did, not that I didn't already have enough, I added more. I got minis to do a was it a trinary ish of Ghost Bears, and I've got the decals printed out and ready to roll. So yeah, it's just a matter of prioritizing time and getting started on things that I want to paint, and I think that'll be a fun little project. I'm really excited about the Ghost Bear one because I think it's Rogue Galaxy I'm interested in doing. The camo pattern I think is going to be cool, but we'll see. Just haven't had time. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning, my motivation's been a little, it's been waxing and waning. It comes and goes. So trying to get that back. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I do try. I'm here painting now. And I know for any of you who are also involved in the Steel Rift side of things at DRD, We're working on our melee expansion stuff, so we're hoping to have rules and minis for that done by Adepticon. And that'll be very cool, I think. We've got some other interesting stuff in the pipeline for our Universe 2 that got delayed, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but we got some cool artwork and stuff being developed, and some things that may or may not be for some form of a source book. So, not sure when that is going to get back on track. We're behind schedule, but we were aiming to have some cool stuff made for Adepticon this year. That means that since we're not going to have that part done, hopefully new stuff will be ready for Nova. We'll see. That would be the goal. But time flies. We embarked on this endeavor almost a year ago, and here we are, almost a year later, and almost ready to finish what we're working on. And it seems like only yesterday we embarked on this journey, so we'll see how it all transpires, which I think will be pretty cool. I got to pitch some cool canon ideas for the things we're working on, which was nice. It's one of my favorite things to do, is pitch something cool for a universe, which is why I like creating things for Battletech, because I feel like I'm getting to, kind of help stamp something. It's like being an artist or an author, right? Like, authors write things into the canon. I may not write things, but being able to help with the unit creation, the camo patterns, the paint patterns, like their paint schemes, like that is still stamping yourself onto an IP. Even if I didn't write a story, I could put up or present a paint scheme that then an artist may reference in a publication, and that is super neat to me. So, in this case, for the thing we were doing for DRD, I got to pitch a faction and a named character and a paint scheme. So, it might come to fruition. It'll be really, really neat if it does. The last we spoke about it, it had gotten some good feedback and traction, and it sounded like everyone liked it. But we'll know where that goes when we know where it goes. We will see. And I will be happy when we're done edge highlighting this bro, because then we'll be just about ready to try and drop some decals, some decals. I also want to oil wash him as well. I know he's already a dark model, but I like to oil wash all the minis I work on just to get the nice crisp kind of panel lines, so that'll be something I need to do. And hopefully after that we can get to the decals, because that's part of the same process where I like gloss varnish and everything. And before I forget, let's grab a little bit more of that black, because I got things I want to tidy up on this little bro. Okay, some panel lines I kind of hit with my gray, and I want to come back in and just tidy that up a little bit. Like right there I hit some, and then right here I hit one. So we'll just kind of and then right in here, just tidy that up a little bit. Boom. Boom. Okay. And now back to our edge highlights. We're getting there. We've got a little bit more to go. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Boop. And I've got some decals for this guy. Let me see if I got them on my desk. I can show that while we're talking. Yeah, here we go. Got Austin to make some. These are technically for my custom faction for Steel Rift, but I'm probably going to use it on these because I think it looks cool. And, yeah, be pretty neat on this guy. Yep, that's my dudes, my duders. Okay. Alright, so let's come in here. Okay. This is It's one of the most tedious parts of painting, doing the edges. Okay. I'm liking where he's at, though. It's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and see, I'd already highlighted some of this before, and I did a little bit of a wash step to tone it down, and we lost quite a bit of the highlighting up here, unfortunately. So makes sense that I'm wanting to come back and hit these, because the color was bugging me. Okay, and we'll come in here. Here we go. And we're getting ever closer, ever closer. Trying not to stress the back of the mini too much because the front's going to be the focal point, but I still like to get some of those highlights and stuff done. I just don't stress on them quite as much as the front because the front is the focal. Doot. Doot. I feel like get a little highlight right here. Alright, and let's do a little bit kind of right up in here. Hold my breath there. Okay. And kind of for the end here, I feel like we should hit the tips of these just to make sure that they're bright. Okay. Alright, and then I kind of want to hit his rocket pods here, just get like a bright spots. And then I kind of toyed with doing the front of the purple rocket pod black, but I kind of feel like we're going to leave that. Just so, because I feel like we have that separation between the black and the purple, and I don't want to have black on that side and then feel like we're competing with each other when it's supposed to be a separation. So I went ahead and opted not to do that. There we go. We'll come down here, hit this one. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with where that's at. I'm gonna grab our contrast paint and just tidy up a little smidge here. Little spot I want to adjust. We're gonna come right here and just kind of give ourselves a little bit of a separation between those two. I want that to stand out a little better. And then we're gonna try and do the same thing up here. So I kind of want that this front cowling to, or whatever we want to call it, to kind of separate. Okay, and then I think this might mess up some stuff here. Let's hope not. I think we're going to try and do a little bit of black line there too. Because these haven't been, I don't have the oil wash done yet, but this is an area that's not really a recess, so the oil wash isn't really going to set up on that. Okay. And come down this side here. There. So we get a little bit of separation between the two, which I think is good. And now let's try and grab some of this and just to fill up this recess here. Actually, that paintbrush has got frayed ends. I need to be a bit more specific with where this goes. I like to have my kind of like LRM housings pretty dark in there. I think it helps separate everything else around them. So that's what I like to do. And we will black that out over here. Okay. I think that is relatively even. Alright, so now, while that dries, I think I want to tone down that black a smidge. We want to, or tone down that gray a smidge. So we're going to come in with our blue black, which I don't have my little poker here. Where did it go? Here we go. Alright, so for these things when they dry, having a little stabber is helpful. I got this one from Reaper. It's one of the little stabby needle things. And we've got Opulentus Black here. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Doesn't take much blue. We're just going to put a drop of blue in there. And then we got to mix some stiff. Alright, so I think we got our mix kind of where we want it. Let's go ahead and stir this up. It should be pretty subtle. I don't want it super dark. Okay. Yeah, so it's not super duper intense. Let's grab some of this. And this, I'm kind of using this a little bit of glaze, the Asanja, or some Josanja, to kind of try and feather towards the bottom here. So I'm kind of rotating between grabbing some of our blue black and some of that. So you kind of see where like I want the dark spot to be, and then I want to like feather it. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay. And playing with inks is pretty nice for this kind of thing. And I've got this thinned down pretty good, so I'm hoping it's not super intense when it dries. Sometimes I do this and it looks good when it's wet, then when it dries, it's just a dumpster fire. So hopefully not the case. Fine with that area to be a little darker, so I'm not going to worry about trying to feather that one. But we'll try and feather a little bit of this right here, though. Okay. Sorry for getting a little quiet on you there. Just kind of been talking for a bit and kind of in the zone, so to speak. Kind of where I'm at. Sometimes you get focused on what you're doing and everything else kind of bleeds away. And I'll come in here and I'll have to black line a real specific, intentional, deliberate, if you will, black line between the purple and the kind of armor plate there. Okay. Okay, so that is pretty dark at the moment. Yeah, hopefully that dries kind of where we want it to be. And let's see if we can get a little darker right in here. Okay. I'm pretty pleased where we're at with that. So I reckon while that dries, we can come in with our black line there. Let's see where we are at. Okay. I think some of that at the top might be a little bit more difficult to get to, but I think at the nose right now we could probably get a nice little line here. So not as worried about the canopy right now because we are going to come back over that later. So if I hit the glass, it's okay. I just want to make sure that like the separation looks practical. Okay, that. I'm going to try and feather that back up because that was a little bit too far over. Okay. Probably should have waited for this to dry to do this, but I'm being impatient. Impatient. Okay. I don't hate it. Could be a little bit more crisp, but I don't hate it. Okay. And I think that separation will be pretty good. So I feel like once we get that canopy done and the oil wash and stuff, I think that's gonna make everything pop. Let's come back in for just a quick touch up. Got a little bit of that, a little bit of our purple, because I feel like I messed up right in here. So we'll just kind of re-highlight that canopy area. All right. I think we might be at a natural stopping point, folks. This is about to the point of the video I think I was going to stop anyway. I think we're approaching an hour here, which is usually about how long I want our kind of hobby paint time to be. The next step is also to gloss varnish this anyway, which I cannot do from in here. So I think that's what we're going to call it today. Obviously this guy needs to dry. We'll get to the gloss varnish, oil wash, and the decals on it, but I think we're making good progress. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. I hope you got some awesome hobbying done today while you're listening. If you did, or if you just enjoyed listening in general, sign up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts, what you're going through, how you're doing, what you're working on with your minis. But on that note, I think it's time for me to jet. As always, keep painting your models, keep rolling your dice, folks. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
If you made it this far, you're probably a viewer that already hits that like button when you see a video come up. You're probably already a subscriber, and you probably jump into the comments down below to help support the channel, to help support that algorithm. But if you're looking for some other ways to help support the channel too, make sure you check the description down below. Maybe you want to pick up some paints from Monument Hobbies. That's my paint of choice. The Pro Acrylic line is chef's kiss, good stuff. Maybe you want to check out some of the offerings from Death Row Designs, where I work in my day job. We got plenty of 3D printed products, as well as MDF terrain, some of the stuff that I have designed myself and we play with here on the channel. And if you're looking to bolster your Battletech ranks, miniatures, and offerings, make sure you check out Bobby from Fortress Miniatures and Games. He's one of the main supporters of the channel as well, and supporting any of these companies helps support what I do and helps to ensure that I can continue to bring content to all of you. If you want to become a super supporter, I highly recommend you guys check out the Patreon. You guys give that extra little edge to help push more content out, and I really do appreciate that. And my ultimate goal on the channel is to continue to be able to not only put out the content we have now, but to get to a point where you can put out more content later, whether that be battle reports or painting tutorials or just more rambles, anything at all. I'd like to be doing more content for you. This is something that I enjoy. I like being able to cast a light into the darkness to bring a little bit of hobby positivity to all of you and make you feel good, and also enjoy playing games myself. As we do the final sign off here though, I do want to go ahead and switch on over and do the scroll of awesome to showcase all the Patreon supporters, the super supporters of the channel, to give them some recognition for helping support what I do. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next time.